think Andrew did it all. I think Andrew thought that he would be welcomed as a hero in Rwanda. I didn't know, and I have to be honest, I thought that I was making a documentary about Shakespeare being alive in 2013 at the time, and that this play meaning something to people today. And I thought there would be this inevitable scene with a young Hutu person and a young Tutsi person, running across the screen, reconciling or something. And I was so wrong. And I remember it was a great lesson for me as a filmmaker going into the process. And I kept interviewing people and saying, like, well, but what are you getting out of the play? And which line of Shakespeare means the most to you? And blah, blah, blah. And this sort of tension was building. And it just shows you having a crew of storytellers, how important that is. My sound recordist, Sean, came up to me between one of the interviews, and I was frustrated because I wasn't getting what I wanted. And he said, you're not telling the story that's happening, you're telling the story that you wanted to tell, that you set out to tell. And I really got mad, and I had the whole director ego moment where I said, he's just a sound guy, and I've got the story. And he was totally right.
Yeah. I think you've got a much richer film for it.
Yeah, and I tried to do service to the story that was unfolding in front of me. Yeah.
And what do you think was the motivation for a lot of people? I mean, I wasn't entirely sure. Why did people? They weren't going to get paid from it for doing it. What was there? People were giving up jobs. What did they hope that they would get out of the process?
I think everybody had different reasons. I think a lot of them were aspiring actors. I think it was an exciting thing for people coming from away putting on this production. I mean, there's not that much theater. There's not that much of a tradition of theater, that kind of theater in Rwanda. Storytelling, yes. Music, yes. Dance, yes. But not that kind of formal sit down and watch a 2.5-hour play theater. So I think there was a lot of people who were just intrigued by the process and wanted to learn.
And how many of these people had come across Romeo and Juliet or Shakespeare?
Oh, I think from what very few of them. And they knew who Shakespeare was. Maybe they knew, what Romeo, but they hadn't read it. There's not really I think we were the first ones, or Andrew was the first one to translate the play into Kenya Rwandan. Or 60% Kenya Rwandan and 20%.
Yeah. And the music, I want to cover. We talked a little bit about the music before. You said the music had provoked in your screen some controversies before. It struck me that the music it's very lush and epic.
Yeah.
And it feels